Hello. Yeah, it's that time again. It's me, Danyl Johnson, and this is Best Thing. Each episode, we interview a different guest and we talk about the best things in their life. From TV to film to music to food to travel and something random of their choice. Now, this week's guest is an absolute star. He really is. It's Ben Haenow from X Factor. Now, he shot to fame in 2014 after being crowned Season 11's winner, beating Fleur East. Also, grabbing himself a #1 at Christmas as well. He's gone on and done so much, and I can't wait to get into the conversation with him. Also, we've got Adam Harris's Fact Checking, keeping us all fact-checked throughout, and Bethia Beats bringing us some of the best in brand new music. All put together by Professor Ollie. Next up, Adam Harris's Fact Checking and interview with Ben Haenow.
Alright guys, it's me, Fact Checking, doing the fact checking for you. I'm outside recording these now, so you might hear a bit of a bird noise. I'm in the fact checking coop. But today's little fact check for you is that daddy longlegs, crane flies, people say they only live for one day. Is that true? Find out at the end of the episode.
So today on the podcast, we've got the wonderful Ben Haenow. How are you doing?
Really good, mate. Thank you so much for having me on here.
It's my pleasure, to be honest. Like, it's so weird because we're sort of all weirdly stuck at home, and we're allowed to go out now, and we're allowed to go, more exercise. Apparently, I can do unlimited amount of exercise, and can we drive anywhere we want to? We can sit with people. I have no idea.
Not Barnard Castle. Apparently, you're not allowed to go there. I think. Stay away from.
We've got straight into it.
Sorry, no politics. Yeah, you can do what you want. I think you can go out and meet people, but at the moment, I think there's still so much of that sort of. It's people's anxiety and feeling like that you don't want to go out. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you say, but I think we were talking a bit before just about when you're meeting your friends and stuff like that. My kind of standard greeting with my mates is to give them a cuddle, but you have to kind of, if you're meeting up with someone, you're kind of 2 meters away from them and sort of like, hey, like feels weird still, man.
It is weird. I remember because I coach a football team, an under 13s football team, and before we all kind of got locked down and stuff like that, we were doing like touching the shoes together, or like what I mean,
elbow one, yeah. It'll get back to normal. It'll get back to normal at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, for now it's still a bit strange, right?
I think the thing is that everyone's getting used to everyone being at home. Even my dog is used to me, and she looks at me like, "Will you go out? Don't take me. Just go out." I don't want to be there. So, okay, what we're going to be doing is we're going to run down your best things in your life to do with all different categories. But the first one is TV and film. So what is the best thing for you to do with TV and film? Have you been watching a lot of TV in this time?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things I've been doing. I'm a big fan of documentaries, and not to take it down too many weird avenues, but the Epstein thing at the moment that's out there has literally been capturing my attention. But, I don't want any sort of lawsuits or anything. So we'll stick.
No, it's a documentary. You can watch it on Netflix. So I've watched it as well. It's insightful, and it's so clever when they put these things together. Isn't it? Like, I had no idea about anything. You look at Tiger King and stuff like that, or how long that's been going.
That was it. Yeah,
incredible, that situation of that. This guy had more. I think is there more tigers in captivity in America than the world?
Yeah, that's what they're saying, and people having them as pets. And that's the thing I love about documentaries is all that stuff. The Tiger King, like you mentioned, was insane, and it's just kind of knowledge. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm no spring chicken. I'm not saying I'm old, but the older I get, the more I feel like Johnny Five and want input. Do you know what I mean? I need to kind of get more stuff. So documentaries and stuff have really been going down well, and my missus, I'm going to blame it on her, but we've been watching a lot of Disney stuff recently as well.
What sort of stuff? What have you been watching?
Lady and the Tramp, the new one.
Classic.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that was kind of cool to relive. Moana, and my missus now thinks she is Moana and just constantly sings the song. So, it's been up and down, man. But film and TV for me, it's an escape, innit? And I think that's what I've enjoyed is being able to you can pick which ride you want to go on. You want to go down a documentary route, you go for it. You want something completely just to zone out to and laugh at. You've got plenty of options.
Yeah, I think that kind of zoning out and escapism through film and TV is really important. And do you have a very like a favorite genre when it comes to film? Do you go to something normally when you're watching films?
Not really. I think the same with music. I think it's kind of dependent on how you're feeling and you know what kind of what sort of thing you're looking for. I'm a big fan of comedy. I'm a big fan of kind of useless comedies. I kind of the Goldbergs is a good one for me. Comedy series, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and that sort of thing. So I love to. It's escapism for me, and as much as it's with everything that's going on in the world nowadays, anyway, it's nice to be able to just kind of switch something on and have a laugh rather than being sort of brought down by it all. Really.
Is there any TV series that you haven't started watching that people go to, oh, you haven't seen that? And you're like, no, I've not seen that, but I will. But you haven't yet. Is there anything that you sort of is on the list?
Yeah, I mean, don't at me, but Game of Thrones is.
I knew you were going to say that.
But you've watched it, right? You watched it?
That. Yeah, but it took me maybe 3 or 4 times to get past season 1.
Okay.
It took me a while before I was like, this is not for me until I got to the bit that I was like, okay, this is the best program in the entire world. And I'm going to annoy everyone by telling people that.
You know what? So many people do say it. And I think it's one of those things as well. It was like Breaking Bad. I think I watched, like 1 or 2 episodes of it. And I thought it was cool, but I was not one of those people that finished it. And now it makes me feel like an alien. I've not seen Breaking Bad. So, and I've not seen Game of Thrones. But it does. If it lives up to the hype, then I'm willing to give it a go.
It's there. It's all there now. So like, you don't have to wait. Like we had to wait week after week after week for this thing to happen that may have not happened or happened and stuff. And then you get to know a character, and then all of a sudden they're dead. But are they dead? And you're like, oh, what's going on?
Is that something? Are you a binge watcher? Would you say that you have to get?
Yeah, I'm 100% binge watcher. I have to get through it, and it annoys me. I think right now they've got it on Apple TV, and they've been dropping TV programs like every week, and just having to wait for a Friday to come to watch the morning show. I think there's Defending Jacob, which is a new program they've got on there as well, which is great, but I'm just so terrible. I need to like completely binge watch and get it done. Right now I'm watching Last Dance. So have you watched it?
No, is that this not Michael Jordan? I haven't seen it. I've been going there's a lot of music documentaries. They've just added something to do with Motown on the Sky documentary thing. Yeah, and just been trying to get through a load of that stuff, man.
When it comes to documentaries, do you go for the music ones? Because obviously that is kind of the background that we think of Ben Haenow, that you might think, oh, I want to listen to music. There's a great Lenny Kravitz one that was on Sky Arts the other day. And do those things kind of lead to what you think, oh, I'd like to watch that? Or do you kind of shun away and you want to watch more kind of criminal and that sort of thing?
Yeah, you've got it, man. I mean, for me, it's like I'm not big into, I wouldn't kind of watch an Ed Sheeran documentary or so, for me, kind of like the old school stuff, like the Motown stuff, Sun Records, and that kind of interests me. But with regards to kind of like biopic type stuff where it's about, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I'd rather find out about the backgrounds of the industry and stuff. But then, criminal documentaries really is where it's at for me, man. I love it.
Like Making a Murderer. Did you watch that?
Oh, now I'm just God.
You did watch it, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible. I still don't really understand what happened to Stephen Avery and his whole family. I know they're all against him.
Yeah.
But I don't know, and his nephew that got embroiled?
It was loads of his family started sort of turning him in and stuff. And I, like you say, I can't really recall the outcome of it, like exactly what happened. But it's just one of those things where it was the insight to how twisted sort of the police could be. Do you know what I mean? And how corrupt and all that sort of thing. Corruption and that sort of thing, man, blows my mind. And I think that the more people sort of know about it and find out about that stuff, it's kind of eye-opening to a lot of people,
I think it is. Sometimes for me in documentaries, they're always quite sensationalist, and they're always like, "Oh my God, this has happened." And sometimes, and this is probably why I'm doing this podcast, but sometimes I'm like, "Where's the nice, feel-good documentary about lovely things and things going really well and people achieving stuff? Where are those documentaries and stuff like this went wrong and these people are corrupt?" And I was just like, But I get caught up in those documentaries, and I think there was another one called Staircase, which was a podcast.
Some guy who thrown his wife down the stairs, right?
Allegedly would say
Sorry.
That. Say that.
Sorry. Thanks.
Don't worry, I don't work for the BBC anymore. It's fine. We can say what we want. Absolutely fine. Okay, so I'm going to say, Ben Haenow, your best thing when it comes to film and TV is probably documentaries, like criminal documentaries.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, man.
Oh, perfect. Next up, we're going to be talking food. You a fan of food?
I literally, it's all I do. While I'm watching the documentaries, I'm stuffing my face. So that is all I do.
Okay, Ben, we're talking about food. Are you a foodie?
I don't know. Does that mean that I kind of am knowledgeable about food, or does that mean that I like it?
No, God, no, that just means you like
Oh
food.
yeah, dude. I will literally eat anything. So yeah, I'm a foodie.
Yeah. That's a total foodie if you eat anything. Is there anything you don't eat?
You know, like stickle bricks or plastic things that you shouldn't eat. Anything that kids shouldn't eat. But no, I'll eat anything. Yeah, I really will eat anything. I think I like to try new foods, and I think that's a massive thing for me. Is a lot of people can kind of go through a Monday to Friday and sort of plan their meals. Fish night and this night and that night. But for me, it's totally about just getting some sort of strange recipe off of a Jamie Oliver or any other sort of recipe stuff, and trying it. So
I think when it comes to food, we can get a little bit stuck in a routine. Like if I have a takeaway, I look at the menu, I peruse the menu, and then choose exactly the same thing I've had for the last 14 years. I don't choose it. I love tasting things. I love tasting menus and stuff like that because you get different stuff. But if I've got to choose my own accord, I'm like, I don't want to get it wrong. I'm hungry.
You're going to go back to the old school. No, I get it. And I think that, do you know what? I like to, as much as I do say I like to try new foods, I think there is that staple when you're choosing your takeaways and stuff. But it's good to branch out, man. It is good to branch out.
Do you have a favorite go-to? Like, so if you thought like, this is my last meal I'm ever gonna eat, what is that meal? You could start at starters and mains and desserts. I don't know. Are you a desserts man? Would you rather have dessert, or are you more savoury?
I'm more of a savoury. I think starters. Like I'm a big fan of I'm a cheese board man as well. If I was going to go for a dessert,
yes.
But yeah, I think food wise for me, it's my dad's Indian, and my mum's Italian descent. So it's I'm not going to choose pizza because I've heard bad things about that. But yeah, curry for me is definitely something I'd go for at the moment. A lot of fish curries I've been trying recently, and sort of like West Indian vibe stuff as well, like a lot of jerk and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? I really enjoy it.
I mean, it's those cuisines that, I think it is in the UK that Indian food is the number one food.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. And even though if you went to India, they'd be like, there's no chicken tikka masala.
Yeah, yeah, we've never heard of it. But I think it's the same with Chinese food, though, right? Like, you know what I mean? We're sweet and sour chicken. Like, no, we don't do that over here. You know?
Yeah, I mean the funny thing when it comes to it, can you cook? Do you cook a little bit?
Yeah, I'm in. My wife's not the biggest fan of cooking. She can cook, but she doesn't enjoy it. And I think unless you put in a bit of passion into anything you do, you know what I mean, you're not going to get a decent result. And I love cooking, so it's all for me to do. And the washing.
Have you been? Everyone's making new things.
Don't say banana bread.
No, but I have made some banana bread.
No,
and the worst thing about it, right? So I made these banana muffins, right? And I thought I was being really kind of like forward thinking, and I put like it was like banana in there, of course, and then walnuts, and I put some sesame seeds in it, and I drizzled it with honey, and I brought it to some friends, and they ate half of it and then didn't eat anymore, and I was like, oh, maybe they're really terrible.
No, they were full up. They were full up.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben. Thanks.
Sounds like an awesome recipe, mate. Sounds like.
Yeah, I'll bring out a cookbook. No. Thanks for that. That's the endorsement. Endorsed by Ben Haenow, Danyl Johnson's new cookbook.
Ben Haenow, who will eat anything. Bear in mind, it's not a good endorsement.
If I make you these banana muffins, I'll send you some. Right? If I make them and you only eat half of them, you're gonna be upset.
Okay, deal.
Say, are you making any bread? Have you tried to make bread?
No,
people are making bread, and I'm like, no.
For me, it's not. I don't know. It's not adventurous. I'm trying to stay away from carbs as well because I have packed on quite a lot of weight. I mean, since I think even
you look wonderful right now. I know the viewers can't see you right now, but you do look great. Oh, he's showing off.
Thank you very much. It's all a filter. There's a filter on it. No, but I think with regards to bread and stuff like that, like people buy bread, these bread making machines, and I think if you're letting a machine do it, you're not making the bread yourself. And other than that, I don't think it's kind of interesting enough, really. Sorry to any bread makers out there.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I actually just live by myself with my dog Darcy, and if I made bread, I would be the size of a house. I've known to make neighbours fat of where I've lived because I've made so much cake, and I just gave it to them, and they're like, Dan, can you stop giving us cake? Because I now have to go to the gym.
I've never heard of people saying "stop, give me cake." It's not a line I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, you sound like a brilliant neighbour, mate. You sound like a brilliant neighbour. Do you do bread as well?
No, I haven't. My friend is very good at making focaccia. And he sent me the recipe. I've asked him to send it to me a couple of times, and then he sort of lose the recipe, and then so he sends it to me, and I've still not made it. I've got the ingredients. Yeah. I've grown some herbs in the garden for the ingredients. Nice. So I've got some rosemary and stuff in there. The only thing that sort of stayed alive. And but Do you know what it is, Ben? I'm not brave enough.
But what? Well,
Isn't that weird? Isn't that
yeah,
weird when it comes to a sort of a food and you're like, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to do it well. And I don't think you're meant to do it well for the first time. The
no.
reason why grandma is great at making a Victoria sponge is because they've made it for 50 years.
That's right. If you'd have had grandma's first one, mate, you'd have only eaten half of it or spat it out. Do you know what I mean? It is about trial and error.
Would have been like my muffins. That's what it would have been. Oh, God. Now people are going to start saying #Danyel's muffins. So... Are you an alfresco kind of person? Do you like eating inside? Do you like doing it? Because we're going to have to eat outside now. Restaurants are opening and we're going to eat outside. You're going to be okay with that? I know if the weather's good, though, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, you're kind of on the right lines. I think, you know what I mean? If you're eating out in, Port au Banús or somewhere lovely on a dock or something, but I don't really believe in sort of like scoffing down a pasta in Croydon High Street. I just don't think it's going to have the same sort of vibe, man. But I do like eating outdoors as long as the setting's nice and we've got the weather. But you know as well as I do, that don't really last, does it, in this country?
No, the only time we had the weather this year is we've had to stay inside.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
We're allowed to a little bit go outside, and now it's just a bit kind of overcast and raining all of next week. So they're opening things up, and then it's just raining. Okay, so let's just dig into it. So best things about food for you, I would say kind of curry. What are your go-to curries if you're going to go out and have, and what do you have with it? Do you have some nice rice with there? What do you have, like bread? What do you?
Yeah, I'm a fan of a peshwari naan, something sweet like the coconut.
Hand up, me too. Yes.
And that and dal. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like a lentil kind of vibey thing if people don't know what it is. But yeah,
thanks for that.
Yeah,
let us know what it is. Well, not a lot of people. No, but it's true because a lot of people wouldn't know what that was, and so you could be. People go, "Oh, I didn't know it's that," and now they might have it now because they listen to you, Ben.
Yeah, try it, man. Try it, and if you don't like it, it's not my fault. I just said
it's Ben's fault. I'm going to let you.
Thanks, Dan.
So you have a nice dal. You have a paswari naan. Do you do naan and rice? Because people are like it's too carby to do both, but I definitely do both.
I mean, definitely. If you're going to go out and have a meal, you might as well do it all, wouldn't you? But just a standard pilau for me. I think because you've got enough flavors going with everything else, it's nice to just have a bit of bland, almost like an Indian chip.
Do you do what I do and then order a few sides, so like a sagaloo and then some, onion bhajis and stuff like that, and then realise that is definitely too much food?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's what happens. And even I think when you get in takeaways as well, it's like you'll just choose what you want and all the things that you think you want, and you look down, it's like £47 for 2 people. You know, you're just like, no, you're not going to eat all that. But it's good for a couple of days afterwards, man. It's good.
It's so true. It is so true. Okay, so I'm going to say that Ben Haenow's best thing to do with food is curry. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is travel. Ben, we're talking travel. Are you well travelled?
I've been around. Probably shouldn't.
I've been around.
I probably shouldn't say that.
By the way, we're using that from the main clip to promote this show. Ben Haenow, I've been around.
I've travelled. You know, music's taken me different places, and before that, I guess my brother's one of them people that's kind of been away and done the Thailand and going and when they go over and find themselves and come back with tie-dye t-shirts and stuff like that. But I've never got round to doing that. I kind of had a bit of my youth was just knocking around with my mates here in the UK. Do you know what I mean? And I've travelled to, as I say, my mum's side of the family from Italy, and that's where I've been to a lot. I mean, me and my wife got married over there as well. So there's places with certain special places in my heart, but I wouldn't say that I'm particularly well travelled. No.
Where did you get married in Italy? Whereabouts?
It's a small place. So where my nan was born it's a town called Bassano di Grappa, which is about 2 hours outside of Venice. But it's the least sort of touristy place you've ever seen. You know, it's literally kind of like old village Italy. And it was just as soon as I'd been there for years and years, and I took my wife there. I mean, probably about 3-4 years before we got married, and was just kind of like, I said to her, "This is the place if we do get married that I'd love to go, and I wanted to show you." And when she saw it, she was just kind of blown away by it. So that's really our special place. Yeah, Bassano di Grappa.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I'll put that in the link so people can find it and then ruin it with tourism.
Keep people away from there, don't you dare. What about you, man? You must have seen some places, right?
Yeah, do you know what? I love England loads, and the Great Britain, and I think there's some places in Scotland that is just
Yeah,
beyond beautiful, and they have some of the most amazing beaches. And if you catch a day that is good weather, you could be in the Bahamas.
yeah,
Like, it is an absolute joke. And I holidayed at Cornwall throughout my childhood. So we were there, every year, like in Newquay and Truro and Perranporth and those sort of
yeah,
places, and which I loved. I loved so much. And I didn't go on holiday or didn't go abroad for a very long time. I was quite late to it. I think just because my parents didn't prioritize that; they had other things they spent their
sure.
money on. But I did love the States. Have you done much in the States? Have you been to the States a bit?
Yeah, I spent about 3 months out there, sort of recording and writing after winning the show. And I went out to LA a lot of time around there, like in Malibu and stuff, which was kind of it was cool, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I think it's actually quite a sparse place, and if you haven't got a car or you don't know anybody there, it actually really is quite a lonely place to be.
Yeah, no one walks in LA.
No, they don't. Not the sort of people that you know what I mean. Like the ladies of the night walk around, but not many other people. But yeah, America was good for me. New York, I think, was great. Was kind of more like a big London, and it felt more. It felt more kind of like something I was used to already. It was kind of
Okay,
LA was
familiar.
LA was very
got it.
alien to me, but New York was very familiar.
It's that place that never sleeps. I felt like the food was great. The places that you could go out were great. You could just walk anywhere over Brooklyn and go to Dumbo,
Yeah,
and just there's so many sites. You could just spend so much time there. I did when I was younger, and I visited quite a few times since and stuff. And it's just that element is a big London, isn't it?
yeah, it absolutely is. And I think regards to kind of like culture and vibe as well that you've got going on there, there's so many, there's so many different, like in London, you've got kind of your Soho vibes and all different kind of stuff. It's, for me, New York was much more of a cultural melting pot than LA seemed to be, and not sort of slagging LA off, but it was very, I don't know, very false, I felt, you know what I mean? I couldn't really get a feel for it.
I think a lot of people say that, and I think the difference is in LA, a lot of people are there to achieve something,
Right.
but in New York, I think that they just be. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They're
Yeah.
not trying to achieve anything; they're just doing.
Yeah, I get that. And like a lot of people a lot of people in New York live and work in New York, right? But a lot of people in LA are visiting they've come to realize their dream, or they've come to do this and that. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying with that, man.
Is there any places that are on your list that you haven't gone to that you're like, I definitely want to go there? Like, I think like on your, that must visit place.
I think South America for me is somewhere that I find really interesting. Kind of like your Perus and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I think it would be I'm not looking now for kind of like a go and sit down on a beach experience or sit by a swimming pool. It doesn't really turn me on. So it's, to go and sort of get involved in a culture and to see some real stuff and the real life and stuff that goes on around there. That's what I'd like to do, really. But whether I'll get the chance to do it, mate, I just don't know.
I think you will get the chance to do it. I think if you really want to, sort of visit places and cultures that you haven't ever done before, I think that when it becomes on your list, you're like, right, I'm going to get to do that. And even if you do it when you're 50, 60, 70,
yeah,
who
you're
cares?
right. No, you're right. Actually, that might be a good time to go, isn't it? Leave the kids and get on with it. Go and find Paddington Bear.
How many kids do you have?
None at the moment, mate. I'm just.
You got no kids?
No, none at the moment. I mean, it's.
I mean, neither. I've got one kid. It's a furry one. She's
I've
asleep in the
seen
bed.
it. She keeps popping up every now and then.
Yeah, she does. She is there somewhere, just walking around.
What type of dog is she?
She's a King Charles Cavalier. She's 9 years old, so she's getting a little bit over the hill. No, she's fine. She can hear me. She likes to sleep a lot. She goes for one walk a day, and then she sleeps the rest of the time. And then I feed her, and then she's back asleep. Same as me, though.
Princess. Yeah, that's it. That's it. When I said life of a princess, I meant the dog.
Well, it's both, to be honest. So when it comes to travel, I don't know if we've actually kind of knuckled this one down, but what is the best thing to do with travel for you, Ben?
I think I wouldn't say a specific place. I think it's just like the whole thing again about documentaries and getting more input. I think it's just going and seeing different cultures and different ways of life, and different people in their own settings. So it's kind of, I'd say it's just getting experience, man, isn't it? It's world experience.
Okay, so best thing about travel for Ben is, I guess, world experience, which is cool. I think that's the best answer we've had. Don't tell the other guests, they'll be well annoyed. And next up, we're going to be talking music, and I can't wait to get into this with you.
Oh, wow.
You're disgusting me in the way that you move.
Hi everyone, it's Bethia from Bethia's Beats. My chosen artist for this week is the incredibly talented Chinchilla. She is renowned for her powerful vocal, high energy live shows, and the most extra outfits of all time, which I'm so here for. She's had many career highlights so far, such as supporting Sting on tour and performing at the Estonian Music Awards. She has very recently released her latest project called Awakening, which is out now. And the track that I've chosen of hers this week is called No No, which was actually produced by my very good friend Mort. Here's a snippet of it playing in the background. To listen to the full song, it will be played at the end of the podcast, along with all the details of Chinchilla's social media and where to find the songs, and that will all be linked below. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
I'm standing by my answer. So you think that you can sway me, but you never had a chance. Sorry if you're tempted, but there's not my problem.
Ben, we're talking music. What is your best thing when it comes to music? Can you remember when you were a kid first hearing like something that went, wow?
Yeah, I mean, that me and you talking about music, Daniel. How long have we got? Do you know what I mean? But
we've got 8 minutes. Come on, hurry up.
Right. So I think
talk as long as you want.
The first thing that really kind of got me was my dad was big into rock. My mum was big into kind of like soul and Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and that kind of stuff. But my dad was big into rock music, and he used to blast his stuff out really, really loud. And the first song that kind of caught me was, I don't know whether Led Zeppelin. It's a song called "Nobody's Fault But Mine."
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, from that moment, I was hooked, and I think from probably the age of about 9 years old, I wanted to be Robert Plant, the lead singer of that band. So it was from there that really kind of first struck my chords with music. And I think I was lost in that sort of vibe. I didn't really pay too much attention when I was a younger kid, kind of teenage years. It was all about the rock and the heavy stuff, But yeah, that was definitely my first foray into music, was listening to my dad blasting out rock and roll tracks, man.
Do you remember getting up onto stage and singing for the first time? Because you worked with your brother Alex, haven't you? And you've done stuff in the band before and stuff like that. You had a band. Is it Lost Audio? Was the band was called?
Yes, we did, mate. Yeah, you must have.
I've done my research.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it was for me. It was. I was quite a nervous performer at first. We'd go to these jam nights and stuff first of all, and we'd have maybe rehearsed something, me and Alex, and there'd be maybe 4 or 5 people in a grotty old pub, but that was enough to put the nerves in me. And I was like, we'd go to jam nights and I would not perform, and then me and Alex would argue, and we'd go home having not done nothing, and that was all my fault, So it was first times on stage was the first time I enjoyed being on stage actually was in a school production of a play where you're playing a character and it's not the real you. But I think singing, there's something about pouring your heart out, and it's almost like you're standing there naked in front of people going, this is me. Do you know what I mean? And it was something that I really struggled to get my head around for a long time, really.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to music, I think it's so vulnerable to stand up and even talk, let alone to be judged for your singing. Because the problem about singing is loads of people don't like Michael Bublé.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, what if you don't like, or they don't like, I'm trying to think of other singers right now, like Queen or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, oh, I just don't like that. And you're like, but they're amazing. And then you realize it's fine for people to have their genres that they like.
Yeah, I do get that. But and the other thing is really, I think if you're putting yourself on a stage, right, you're essentially saying to people, give me your opinion. I mean, maybe you're not you don't want it verbally or whatever, but you are putting yourself up there for people's opinions. And as a musician and song lover, there are bands that I don't like, but would I be one of those people who goes on Twitter and writes to them, you're expletive? No, I wouldn't, but there are people out there that do that. So I think everyone's allowed to have an opinion, man, and you kind of do put yourself up there for that when you're performing in any sense, from pub to stadium.
Let's take you back. So 2014. Actually, I wanted to ask you. You auditioned in Newcastle.
Yeah,
Didn't
so
you?
it was.
How come?
It was a really terrible story. So we went down and waited in London first of all, and waited in the queue for like 14 and a half hours.
I remember.
Yes, you do, mate. To get through to what you think is going to be Simon Cowell and the judges, and it turns out it's three, like just three people from the what are they called? Runners and stuff.
Runners.
Yeah, look, your career is in the hands of a runner at that point, you know. So we queued up there, and it got to. I literally had been there for 14 hours, and they sort of pulled this just before I got there. Pulled this little cordon across and said, "What was it? Are you Ben? Yeah. I'm sorry, but we haven't got time to see you here today." I was like, "Yeah, dude. Yeah." No, I was like,
"What?"
I may have said a few words. And they were like, "But we'd love you to come and audition in Newcastle." And I was like, "Yeah, do you know what? Like, no." I was like, "Yeah, no problem, man." Walked out the door, and me and my mate, I was like, "No, I'm not going here. I'm not doing that." You know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't have gone back for it if it wasn't for my auntie, who sort of said, "Look, this is the only opportunity you're going to get, aside from the one you've just got. This is the opportunity you're going to get." And she kind of paid for me to go up to Newcastle, and I'd done the whole thing again. Well, I got there at 9 a.m. I think, waited in a queue, and my actual audition was about 5 past midnight. I think I was the last person to be seen. So,
oh my goodness! You think when they are fast track you, not fast track you, but tell you to go to Newcastle that you might be fast tracked and you could get in and get out, but they still make you wait around, jumping around, throwing up the X sign the whole time.
Yeah, that's it, man. You know what I mean? But they want you to. I think they wanted to see some sort of commitment from me, because I think I wouldn't say I was blasé about it when I was there, but I was under the impression anyway that my kind of vibe and my kind of style of singing wasn't what people had seen on there before, like the rocky sort of stuff. I hadn't seen anyone connect with that, and I didn't think the audience or anyone would want it. So.
What are you talking about? We had Wagner. What are you saying?
Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, but that's like Madonna. He's got one name and he's got his complete own vibe going on. You can't top that. Fuck that. Yeah.
He's smashing it on Cameo, so don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, let's fast forward from that, because I think with the audition stuff, it's they don't choose you, and they say you have to go up to Newcastle. And what's your auntie's name, by the way? Give her a name.
Marina Steele.
There you go, Marina Steele. And then you go all the way up to Newcastle. Let's fast forward. Then you win the show.
Yeah.
You win the show.
Yeah. It was, even when you say it now, it's still, being involved in the show at any point was kind of a pinch me moment, because you just think, you look back on it and it was, you know what it is. It's a wild ride, isn't it? You know, but I think that still just doesn't really sink in. And I think for me, it took maybe once you win the show, you go straight upstairs to some sort of like small after party where you're not allowed to do anything. It's just for people to kind of look at you through the glass. Do you know what I mean? And then you go on.
You just smash through the glass. That's what you do.
Oh yeah, that was again putting my life in danger. But you're up there, you do that, and then it's a whirlwind thing. You're on every single morning TV show, and my feet did not touch the ground until 2 years later, until I was dropped from the label. You know, till I left that label and had time to sort of sit back and kind of go, everything to go in. I really didn't. I don't know how I was doing it. I don't think I was living as myself, and I don't think it was me. Do you know what I mean? As strange as that sounds, I don't think it was me in control, but it was incredible experiences, man.
It is a whirlwind, and when you do anything like that, and you kind of, your feet don't touch the ground. But I think no matter what you do, and if you love it or there's some tough times, there's element of that. Even though there's things you would change, you're like, I've gained so much experience.
Yeah.
I've met so many people now in my life that I didn't know before that means so much. And the people I knew before and stuck around and didn't expect me to pay for every bill.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Thank you for calling me, names and keeping me grounded. And
totally. It was that for me that was the key. I think, and when you say you meet a lot of people, you do meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of family members you never knew you had that come out.
Yes, you do. I'm still meeting them.
Yeah, I bet you. We should get them to meet up together and just put them on a boat.
We'll get Davina McCall along if she can reunite.
But yeah, it's that exactly like you say it. For me, having my bigger brother to still, do you know what I mean, give me Chinese burns and noogies and keep me where I was, and having a family around me that were literally just like, if you even think about getting too big for your boots, mate, we will tell you where you've come from. So it was great,
Okay, so I'm going to say that Ben's best thing to do with music, I'm going to go Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll take that, man.
Yeah. I think that's good. Okay, we've got the next and last category is something random. Do you know what you're going to do yet?
I think, do you know what? Yeah, I think I do know what I'm going to do. I don't know whether I'm really an expert on it, but I've got an idea.
You don't need to be an expert. Yes, the next category we're going to be talking about is something random. Ben, your last category, we're going to be talking about something random. Okay, what is the best thing that is something random for Ben Haenow? What are you going to say? I don't know what you're going to say.
I know you don't know what. I don't even think I know what I'm going to say. For me, we started. Me and the wife started watching a load of stuff on pyramids. You know, like the ancient Egyptians and pyramids, and
Yes.
this whole conspiracy stuff about aliens and everything else. Like, it's very interesting to me, and I still think there's definitely not been enough sort of like looking into it. I've watched about 3 documentaries on it, and I'm still none the wiser. It's a lot of conspiracy and not much fact or people actually looking to justify their facts. But yeah, man, pyramids and aliens I'm living for that stuff at the moment.
Okay, so when it comes to have you been to Egypt? Have you actually seen the pyramids?
No, my grandma went years and years. God bless her, because she went years and years ago. And she said it was like it's quite there's quite a lot of rubbish, like not as it,
Yeah, there's like a McDonald's like across the road.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And who wants it? That wasn't in Indiana Jones or any of these other cool things you see. Like, it's not like McDonald's, just loads of bottles and rubbish and crisp packets. I think it would ruin it. But I would like to go, but I'd probably be arrested for breaking into a pyramid and looking for aliens.
I think the sad thing about the pyramids and stuff, apart from that, no one wants all the trash around. But I think the sad thing is that you used to be able to go, quite close to the pyramids, or used to be able to go in, and now you can't. A bit like Stonehenge, and in the UK and stuff, you used to be able to touch it and be quite close, and now you can't. Okay, let's get into it. When it comes to pyramids, why do you think, and how do you think they're there? Go on.
I personally, like, as much as I like to get lost in the belief of aliens, I just think there weren't much to do back then. No one had tellies. Do you know what I mean? If you want 500,000 people to get together and build a big pointy pyramid, I think the people I would have been up for it. I mean, like you say, I've done a lot of gardening in the lockdown time. So I think you want to.
It's the same thing.
Exactly, no, dude. It is. I can't show you. It's roughly the same thing. I think there was a lot to do with. Don't laugh, Daniel. There's a lot to do with there was one that was showing you about basically how, like, the Nile was massively important to Egypt and stuff like that, but they created their own waterways and created these tunnels, like where the water pressure would go underneath, which would be able to lift stones.
Wow.
I know, and I'm even doing the action and no one can see it.
No one can see it, but it's fine. They can try and do it at home. Imagine at home right now, the actions of the stones lifting with the water and
But yeah, I think it was technology, mate. You know what I mean? I think they were pioneers in technology. I'd like to think that the aliens thing is true, but I am a believer. I definitely am a believer in that sort of thing, like in extraterrestrial life. But whether they were the ones that kind of put together the pyramids and stuff, I'm not sure. But it's so precise. Everything they've done is so precise, and people are saying about the tools and stuff they would have needed to use and the pressures they would have needed to use to cut through stones, that it wasn't available then. So it still just makes your mind bubble, doesn't it?
I think because it was so long ago, and I think we've dated it further back than we actually thought it was. And sort of like 4,000 BC, which is hard to comprehend, because if you think right now, we're only in 2020 from when we started counting, and 4,000 years before that, so that's double the amount of time. It's mind-boggling to think about it. What is even weirder when it comes to it is that was happening in Egypt. But then if you go across to South America, you go across to Mexico, there's the Incas and there's the Mayan tribes that figured out the stars. You're like, what? And we haven't found most of their monuments and the things that they built in the middle of the jungle. Now, was it jungle back then? Maybe not. Maybe it's grown more, but I feel like there's so many unanswered questions. We actually just don't know, do we?
Yeah, I think we don't know, and I don't think there's enough people that are still kind of looking. I don't know on how many people's radar that is, because I'm interested in that sort of thing. You know what I mean? And there's probably a load of other people that are, but there's not enough, I think, people actually looking into it and trying to find answers for all these things.
Yeah, I think what we could unearth is either some mind-boggling things that would just ruin the whole of perception of humanity,
Yeah,
or we'll just go, actually, this is really bad, and they made loads of people do this in the
listen,
hikings
to,
for years and
to be
years.
honest with you, though, bro, like I think that again, it's even with what's happening in current times. I think that people need to find out, and that sort of thing shouldn't be covered up. And I don't doubt that the sort of thing where like slavery vibes of same ethnicity and everything else, but that sort of thing and making people do work and stuff like that, I think obviously and probably was a massive part of it. But I don't think just because it's shameful people should cover it up, because it's the same as everything. It is about learning, isn't it, from the mistakes, and unless people are going to kind of speak up about it.
Okay, so alien wise, is there aliens in our galaxy? Right? Do you know that we just found water, like ice, in Mars?
No.
I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you a picture, and we'll put it in the link as well.
You're going to send me to Mars.
Yeah, I'm going to send you to Mars. Would you go to Mars? Because Elon's saying that we're going to be up in Mars and we're going to colonize that. Would you? You're nodding your head. Is this a yes?
I'd check it out, man. I mean, definitely. They'd have to obviously put some facilities up there first of all. I'm not going to be kind of first man down, but that whole thing would blow my mind. To be able to go into space and just to even orbit the Earth or something like that. Do you know what I mean? On one of these Branson jets or whatever they're going to do. I think you'd be silly not to. You'd be silly not to. I couldn't afford it, but you'd be silly not to.
I think they might take you up there. You can play some Ben Haenow music up there.
First single on the moon. That'd be nice. Yeah.
There you go. I'm up for that. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll be in small print on the side. Ben Haenow, massive print, and just featuring Danyl just on the side of that. I mean, apparently, this is what's going to be happening. We just seen what SpaceX has done, and that they took the rockets up, and then they landed back their rockets back on planet Earth to make sure they can use again. And the guys are up at the space station, which is incredible. And I just sent you a video of someone filming it, the space rocket going up into space on the airplane. I mean, can you imagine just standing there watching? Yet again, it's like back in the 60s or when we went to the moon, that we are doing this. This is something that's happening, and the next place is Mars.
Well, for you to say as well that they kind of landed the rockets back and stuff, I mean, that's something that doesn't. Well, forgive my maybe ignorance on it, but that's something that doesn't happen, isn't it? Like they don't normally.
No,
obviously,
sustainability from Elon.
Yeah, incredible.
It is incredible, and I think that when Elon kind of comes up with his ideas, or NASA comes up with these ideas, it's so hard to fathom what space is like and how vast and how many stars and planets and stuff. I mean, most people can't name the planets in our solar system, let alone. Don't worry, I'm not going to get you to name them, Ben.
I was just going to start to look. I was just looking down at my Google page there as well, in case you were going to ask. But no, my very early morning jam sandwich usually nauseates people. Is how I remember the planets.
Oh wow, that's clever.
Mm.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, right, that's good. So I'm going to say that Ben's best things to do with something random is going to be kind of like not extraterrestrial, but kind of like pyramids and that kind of that undiscovered kind of side of life and those 7 wonders of the world sort of things. I think they're really.
Yeah, the unknown. I think it's the unknown.
The unknown. I think that's better. So Ben Haenow's best thing with something random is the unknown. That could be anything. That's fine. Yeah. Ben, you've been an absolute star. What's going on with you? You've got a new song out. You're promoting stuff. You're raising money for charity. You're doing loads of stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm trying. You've got to try and keep busy, haven't you? So it's been amazing. I've got a song out for Mind Charity just to raise mental health awareness. Basically, I know it's the time to launch it was kind of in Mental Health Awareness Week, when people think that's the only time they have to talk about these things, and I think that's part of the trouble. It is while stuff's trending, people are all on it. You know what I mean? But it's not mental health awareness and stuff like that. It's not like National Cupcake Day, do you know what I mean? Or # National Chips Day. It's one of these things that affects everybody. So not to waffle on too much about it, but yeah, I've got a new single out. All the proceeds go into Mind Charity. And I've recently put together a little video. It's kind of getting fans involved and everything else, sending sort of messages of hope in. I don't want to give too much away about it, but we've got some kind of famous faces and stuff, including your beautiful famous face.
Oh, stop it.
So yeah, it's been really great. It's been really great to, for me as well, the song, the reactions that I've got from the song, and I'm not talking about chart positions or, I'm not talking about, press coverage and things like that. What I'm talking about is the is the way people have reacted to it on a human level. From one person saying something and the effect that has on other people. That's what's really blown me away, really, and how people have been so kind to get involved and give their time, and just to show through kind of like the demographic diversity that we've got of people in the video. Mental health doesn't care for your age, your race, your culture, anything like that. So I'm so proud, and can't thank everybody enough for being involved in it, just to show how much this can affect literally any one of us.
Well, I'm going to give you a little round of applause because you
Brian.
are doing some great work. So the charity you're doing it is for Mind. What's the name of the song?
The song is called "If You're Lonely."
Which is quite, appropriate right now, isn't it? Really, in what's going on.
It kind of is, but and not just a physical loneliness. It's a lot of people feel trapped inside their heads with all manner of thoughts and all the time. And even particularly when you're surrounded by people, you can still feel lonely with your thoughts. So it's I guess the title kind of just sums it up in all senses, really.
And you can find it anywhere. You get it on Spotify and.
You can get it anywhere, man. It's on every single digital platform. And if you come around my house, I'll play it live for you.
What's next for you? What's going on?
Not a lot, really. So a friend of mine has been kind of arranging, obviously with shows and stuff not going ahead, there's been kind of like new and creative ways to get around that. And a friend of mine put me onto a guy who's been arranging like drive-in gigs, like the old drive-in movies.
Yeah.
Where people stay in their cars and there's a stage set up. And I think one happened in Southampton, and it was sold out. Do you know what I mean? It was really good. And for me, it was just the thought of, okay, well, maybe that's one thing to look into. So I think writing a lot at the moment, writing a lot with some new people that I've met during the lockdown, and that sort of online and stuff. I think just that, and then waiting for the live scene to crack on again, because that's really what I love to do. So.
Well, good luck with everything. Do you know what? We'll leave all the information in the links below. Ben Haenow, you've been an absolute star. Thank you for sharing with us your best things. Thank you very much.
You cool, man. Thank you for having me, dude.
No problem. See ya. A huge thank you to our wonderful guest today, Ben Haenow, an absolute star. His new song, If You Are Not Alone, will be on the link below. Thank you also to Adam Harris and his Fat Chicken. Bethia bringing us some of the best in brand new music, and of course the wonderful Professor Ollie making sure this is all edited perfectly together. The music in the background is by myself, Tom Baxter and Jimmy Lundy. The artwork is by JMD. If you're liking this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Next up, Bethia Beats track of the week. This is Chinchilla and No No. See you next time.
You're disgusting me in the way that you move. I've told you no time and time again what you try to prove. Get your hands off me. I'm well within my rights. I could be naked in your bed, still entitled to decline. Let me tell you what no means. It's a two-letter word, and for never. Oh my God, I won't say it louder. You heard, you close to the line, and the line ain't blurry. No, 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 no. And don't you call it drama? I'm standing by my answer. So you think that you can sway me, but you never had a chance. Sorry if you're tempted, but that's not my problem. Call me temptress one more time, I'll take you for your fortune. I'ma roll with it, share it out to the ones who are done with it. And I'm smiling now, not so funny when it's you putting on food. No, 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 no. So funny when it's you putting on food. No, no, don't you know, no, 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 don't you know, no, 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 don't you know, no, no, no. So funny when it's you putting on food. Now let me tell you about yes. Cause you don't get the picture. YES is a sweet little mixture. Tasty, deadly, red hot. Whisper. Yeah, yeah, can't quit ya. Yeah, 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 yeah. You'll know when I'm there. But till then beware. Cause the red light might just candlestick. Sorry if you're tempted, but that's not my problem. Call me temptress one more time, I'll take you for your fortune. I'ma roll with it, share it out to the ones who are done with it. And I'm smiling now, not so funny when it's you putting your food. No, 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 no. Don't you know, no, no, no. No, I don't want your love. Won't repeat it, said it once. Cause I've been thinking like a pit bull. Tilt my head and hold my pistol. Hey, you're not smiling now. That's so funny when it's your foot down. Don't you know, no? Call me temptress one more time. No, no. No, no. No, no. So funny when it's you, funny, oh. No, no. Don't you know, no? No, no. Don't you know, no? No, no. Don't you know, no? No, no. So funny when it's you, funny, oh.
All right, guys, it's me, Fat Chicken. Well done for sitting through 45 minutes of that tosh. My fact check today was to find out whether daddy longlegs and craneflies only live for one day. Well, it's not true. The lifespan of an adult cranefly, or daddy longlegs, is about 2 weeks, and their purpose in life is to mate and then die within a few days. Relatable. Okay, guys, see you next time.